to talk about fall planting, and I brought a special guest to the studio today, Will, our perennial manager, and he's going to help clarify some questions about fall planting. First and foremost, the number one question that everybody asks is, can we plant in the fall? Can we, Will?
Absolutely. With the cooler temperatures in the air, it's a much easier, lower stress time of year to plant.
Okay, and also it actually feels good to get out and plant at this time of the year.
It does.
It's not so hot for us to work in the yard. The next question, are we limited to what we can plant? For instance, we have a variety of different plants on this table, everything from shrubs, arborvitae, blueberry bushes, to heucherella, some shade plants, and some echinacea. And are we limited? Can all of these things go in the ground in the fall?
These can all go in the ground in the fall. They're all producing roots at this time of year. It's actually the time of year that most plants are shooting out their most root growth for the season. So it's a great time to get stuff in the ground.
Okay, so that is really interesting because we know if plants have a good, sturdy root system, then it's a really healthy plant. Are there any special, like at least one hint that you would give people to make sure that they really do have success with their fall plantings?
Definitely. So there's a lot of cooler temperatures. Your water needs aren't going to be as big. When you're planting in the fall, water maybe every third day. Keep an eye on your forecast. Beyond that, make sure you're amending the soil with a nice topsoil peat moss compost mix like our premium planting mix, and transplant fertilizers go a long way as well to help get those roots really strong.
Okay, so even though it's the fall, I'm hearing we still need to water.
Yes.
That is still very important to establish a deep root system going into the winter.
Definitely.
Right? Thank you, Will. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. It was so nice to have Will with us today because he really helped clarify some concerns and fears that all of us might have about planting in the fall. Now we know for sure that planting in the fall is fantastic. We go so far to even put that on our tags. Look for these really fall is fantastic tags in our containers. It really gives you some tips about why it is so wonderful to plant in the fall. Just to clarify a little bit, just to make sure that you really have great success with your fall plantings, Will quickly touched upon soil amendments. And what do we mean by that? So when you plant in the fall or any time of the year, we always recommend that you use a fertilizer, in particular a root stimulant. We have our own, we have our conventional ones to our organic ones, but these fertilizers added to the soil when you're planting really will help grow those roots much more quicker and set them in before winter comes. So it's really important that you do that. In addition to that, really use a good soil mix. So we have our planting mix, which is a great blend of compost and peat moss. You amend that to your existing soil and it makes a wonderful home for these fall plantings. And then don't forget water. Will mentioned water. We have a watering guide online, which is really important that you look at, because even though at vanwilgens.com, just go to vanwilgens.com for our watering guide, because even though our nights are cooler and it's a little bit more damp, please don't skimp on the watering. It still is important really to water at least 3 times a week, depending on weather, and also for about 3 weeks, because if you establish that deep root system in the fall, they can really make it through the winter, and you'll end up with these gorgeous plants next spring. This pennisetum, look at this beautiful fall color. I know that it's gone out of bloom, but next spring that's gonna bloom beautifully for you. So remember guys, fall is a fantastic time to plant. Get out in your yard, plant some beautiful shrubs and perennials, even annuals if you like. This is a great time. Thanks a bunch. See you next time.